Oh, hi. Right now, it is literally just me here and one person. If you are here, let me know that you're here. This is just another one of those spontaneous, you know, I just want to touch base with you guys. Let's talk type of thing. So I'm going to wait to see who else is going to be here. Um, I also put a link on Instagram so that people can know that they can join. And hi, Ron. I guess you and another person are here. So wonderful. You guys know me. I do these spontaneous things in which I'm just suddenly like, guys, let's do a live. Hi, Monica. So happy that you guys are here. I feel like it's literally just the two of us or the three of us. Who knows? We might not be a lot tonight. Oh, 12 people. Hi, everyone. Hi. AW, are you married? Did you just message me on Instagram? Is that you, AW? Let's see if I go to your channel. Yes, right? Your name is, well, I don't want to expose you if you didn't want to be exposed. I'm sorry. Not on Instagram? Okay. Well, hi, John Boyd. Hi, Dan. Thank you so much. That's so sweet. Hi, Mote. Moite? Moit? How do you say your name? I don't know how to say your name. Hi, Deve. Never surrender. Hi. Wonder what your name means. I'm so happy that you guys are so spontaneous. AW, I commented on your recent video. Oh, cool. Guys, you were so amazing. I looked at the comments. I've read a lot of them. I wasn't able since yesterday to get back to the comments, but I want to spend time doing that at some point, um, during the week. The week has been just a little bit hectic. Um, but I'm finding little stickers that Bunny sort of takes out of his fur and just puts on the bed. So there we go. And of course, I have my trusty water bottle. You guys are so sweet. Just to answer Dan's question, Dan asks, how is the mood after the hostages have been released? Wow, it's really amazing. It's quite insane. It's a bit of like mixed feelings because, of course, they come back with horror stories, and that's to be expected. We knew that that was going to happen. We've seen it with the other hostages that have returned, and it's horrible. But a lot of very, very happy moments in which families are reunited, a lot of sad moments because, as much as there were 20 living hostages that came back, we also had the rest of the hostages that were dead, and not all of them have returned. They haven't even, quote unquote, found the bodies of a lot of them. And Hamas, of course, already broke the ceasefire. So, what about that? So, yeah, I don't know what to think about that. But as far as the hostages returning, wow, it's amazing. Actually, I just reported from Mevaseret Zion where Elkanah came back. Let me find that for you guys, and I'll link it here, and you guys can watch it if you want. Um, so you guys can see. There you go. I'm going to pin this link, so if you guys want to go and watch it later, you can. Um, but yeah, basically, I went to Mevaseret Zion where Elkanah lives, and they basically, he was in the hospital for a few days, and they try to release them as soon as they can because they know that, like, the transition from there to the hospital, they want to go home. They want to be in their comfort place, and the hospital is not necessarily their comfort place. So they try to release them as soon as they can. So they did that. And so it was very strange in a sense because I've been reporting from the hostages square, and I've been, filming the sign of Elkanah. And, it's one of those things that's like, wow, you actually to see him in the flesh. Like they bring them in like these really, really big, like black vans, if you will. So they have a lot of people with them and they're sitting up front and he's sitting with Re'em, his son, on his lap. and you can see him just like this. He's holding his face and he's like crying and laughing. Like he just doesn't even know what to think. Like all of the support of all of like the people of Israel coming out and being just so happy that he's home. It was just it was just incredible and such a historic moment to see one of our hostages come back home. Of course, I feel weird about filming such a moment because it's a strange feeling that you're like, you don't want to be the one to like have your camera like this, at the window, because that just sort of feels weird. But it's one of those things that you're just like, okay, like this is what I have to do to get the shot because my job is to capture these moments for people. And so you do that, you do what you need to do. And it's also a bit weird because you're experiencing all of this through a lens, right? Like I would have rather been sort of present, if you will, um, in the sense that when you're filming, you see things through a lens, and that's a bit difficult because you're focusing on getting a shot. And you're not really focusing on what you're feeling, so it sort of separates you in a sense from the emotion. And that would be nice at some point to not feel that, but as long as I'm filming, that's sort of how it works. So yeah, that was my experience from being there at the Hostages Square. We're going to wait just another minute or two, and then we're going to talk about the subject of loneliness. I don't know what's going on with my hair, but it's comfortable for me, so you guys will love me. Um, let's just say hi to all the people. Oh, your name is Amna. Hope I'm saying your name right. Nice to meet you. Um, how are Divai Kumar is asking, how are you and how are people now in your country? I think everyone has like a huge like sigh of relief that the living hostages are home, because I think that was just absolutely impossible to like how do I explain it? It's like you're holding your breath for 2 years. That's sort of how it felt. It's just impossible to move on with anything. And of course, we still have the bodies of hostages there, and so it's still like we still don't have peace of mind in this sense. But I don't know. I look like a child, but who cares? Um, so yeah, we have peace of mind knowing that the living ones that are suffering are not there. But I don't know what I would feel if someone that I loved in their body was in Gaza. So I always told my family, God forbid this ever happens, but if something happens to me and I'm kidnapped and I'm murdered there, or I die or something happens, don't don't get my body. Like, leave it there. Do not risk anyone's life for it. Don't exchange me for anyone. Like, that's sort of how I feel about it. But for especially in Judaism, it's very important for us to get the body of our loved ones so that we can bury them. And to have the body of your loved one behind enemy lines is such a, I mean, you probably feel so sick in your spirit, you know what I mean? Like, I can't even imagine how that feels like. But I told my family, if that ever happens, don't come get my body. If I'm alive, fight for me, like fight for me, get me out of there. But like, I don't know, if I'm dead already, like don't get my body. Okay? You guys remember this. I think my family has heard this like enough times that they're just sort of like, okay, But yeah, if something happens to me, do not come and get my body in exchange for anyone. Um, G Mail says, I cried with you when you were reporting from the October 7th memorial. Yeah, it was a very sad day. It was very strange. Um, yeah, it'll always be a very, very sad day for us, a very somber day for us. Trey says, the one guy just stared at the sky. Yeah. So Ron Borslavsky, you could see like after they came out, the Red Cross basically took them over the border, and then they have like a first evaluation in which like the army meets them. They try to see if they need immediate medical attention. Sort of, they explain to them what's going to happen, and the one like one was literally just sort of like this and just sort of like looking at the sky, and yeah, it's a really incredible sight to behold that people like they haven't seen the sky for 2 years or less than 2 years. It's just insane. Robert says, I hardly see you in All Israel News. Oh, yeah, I hope you're okay. Yeah, I'm okay. I basically have an agreement with them for like 4 to 6 videos. And so I come out sporadically throughout the month. I don't do the newspaper videos anymore. That used to be sort of like every week or, twice a month at some point. So I don't do that anymore, but I field report. And so I'm sporadically just sort of there. Sometimes also my face is not necessarily on the thumbnail. So I could be reporting. Usually, what they have, if you want to see specifically me, is you'll see, and I'll probably show this to you guys. It looks like this. Whoops, where are you? So it'll say like field report, like live report or field report, like on the thumbnail. Maybe how can I show it to you guys? Um, or you have Levy and I just like doing stuff like that. So like you'll see all Israel gems or you'll see like field report. So that's how you guys can see me. You won't always see my face. But if you guys want, you can go to All Israel News. I'm going to put that link so that you guys can watch if you want. I love All Israel News. They are now my only client and they're amazing. And I love them. And they just give me a lot of freedom. I'm like, I want to go report this. So I go and report it. And they don't ask any questions so much and they just let me sort of do my thing. So I just did that. Yes. Okay. You guys are amazing. So guys, let's talk about the subject that we're all here for. The latest vlog, if you guys had the chance to watch it, sort of was very, I don't know, successful. I guess it was one of those things that people sort of just connected with. And it's the subject of loneliness. And I feel like this is a subject that oftentimes people feel maybe ashamed to admit that they feel, because loneliness is one of those things that they actually, as I speak to you guys, I'm thinking I should probably put a link to this live. Is it this one? So that people can know that we're actually here. But I feel like this is a subject that a lot of people, they actually feel inside their hearts and they don't know how to deal with it, because if you admit that you're lonely, it's one of those things that it's um like you feel almost pathetic for admitting that you feel. I know this about myself because I was oftentimes lonely, and it's almost like there should be like an answer to this question. Like, if you're lonely, then am I sort of admitting that I'm pathetic and not loved? You know what I mean? That's sort of the thing that I'm thinking, that would prevent me from actually saying how I feel. And I've decided to not do that anymore. And it's not necessarily that I'm more confident as a person, but I don't want to associate my loneliness to my identity. Because in the past, I would always say, "Oh, I feel lonely," and that's the proof that people don't love me, or I'm not invited to somewhere, so that's proof that people don't care, or like I would really come to like these different conclusions about why I don't have a lot of friends, or why I'm not invited, or why I'm not the first person on other people's thoughts, and it would really tear me down. Like, it would really, really tear me down, and it's something that I've decided to sort of be open about, because I know that when I do decide to talk about it, a lot of people that you would think are like, have a lot of friends or have enough friends, they're like, you know what, I feel lonely too. And for different reasons, they could feel lonely because they're single. They could feel lonely because they feel misunderstood. They could feel lonely because, um, they have friends but not really family. And there's a lot of reasons why people feel lonely. Like, they can feel lonely in their job. They can feel lonely because their job is a lonely type of job. Like, there's a lot of reasons why people will feel lonely. And I'm just gonna adjust for a second so I can lean back. Yay! Now you're on my lap. Um, and I think it's time to like be honest about what we feel and what we can do about it, because I would hate the fact that any one of you guys would feel lonely for any reason, and yet it's a reality of our life that sometimes it just happens, right? Like sometimes life is just lonely. And so let's talk about it. I want to hear from you guys in the comments your experience with loneliness, because I know that I'm not the only one. We all feel it in different ways. So I'm going to read some of your comments. Um, oh, Michal says YouTube and the ads, they're killing me. I'm sorry. Guys, this is the way that I make money, and yet I'm not making any money from this at all. You guys know that my donations right now, they go to soldiers with PTSD, and they go to Jewish Arab relations between Messianic Jews and Arab Christians. So I actually took off there's more like a moderate amount of ads instead of like a lot of ads. So you guys can actually tell me how often those ads happen. I'm sorry. But there won't be no ads, but I've made them more moderate for your sake. Let's see what people are saying. Charles Latman says, "Hi, Sister Oriel, your brother in Christ, Chuck." Hi, Chuck. Lots of God's people in the Bible were lonely. Yeah, that's true. I don't think anyone is exempt from being human. We tend to think that, just because a people has like a person has like a grand calling or stuff like that, that they don't, get lonely. And that's definitely not the case. Um, like you see David in the Psalms, talk about his loneliness. I'm sure Moses was lonely in different ways when he was. I have stuff in my hair and I don't know where it came from. Is it this one? This one. Okay. Um, you can see Elijah when he runs after God judges all the prophets of Baal, and he feels lonely, and he wants to die basically because he's afraid, that he's going to be killed by Jezebel, and stuff like that. And I think that a lot of people felt, lonely in their callings and lonely in general. So yeah, definitely there are a lot of people in the Bible that felt exactly the same. Um, oh, I'm so tired. Okay. That's why we're doing this live a bit earlier, and that's probably why there's less people here, because usually I'll start it at like 11, and now I did it at 10 because I wanted to try to sleep earlier. Juan says, I have a friend in Jesus. That's wonderful. Yeah, he's a faithful friend, and he's wonderful. I love that you guys are talking with each other. Michal says, I guess you're commenting to Robert, I'm hanging in there, feeling loneliness like Oriel is describing, but trusting that Adonai will either remove the loneliness or change it. How are you, brother? Michal, I'm sorry that you're feeling lonely. That's a very difficult feeling to have. Um, and I know that. Sorry, I'm just getting. Guys, I'm gonna be myself with you guys. I'm gonna blow my nose. Okay. Um, sorry. Don't want to be that gross. Having myself just looks like I'm picking my nose. But we're family here, right? You guys can enjoy me. But I wonder, Michal, just about the loneliness. We all have, we can all feel loneliness for different reasons. And that's why it's good, I think, to be like sort of honest about the reasons why we feel lonely, because isolation is a really difficult thing to deal with. I have felt loneliness sometimes in ways that I feel like I'm gonna go crazy. Like I feel like I'm gonna climb up the walls because I feel so lonely. And so it's very difficult. So I understand you. Ugh, that's gross. Charles Latman says, Sister Oriad, being on the narrow path is lonely. Very people are on the narrow path. Actually, that's very true. That's something that can make you feel very lonely, which is when you choose the narrow path, the not so walked path. the path where there's a lot of sacrifice, and a lot of people don't want to sacrifice, or they don't want to become purified, or um, doing the right thing is too costly, so they take a different route. And so, yeah, actually being walking on that narrow path is oftentimes lonely. You can see that also with the prophets, like in the Bible. I think that they were sort of isolated in many ways because they would carry a certain message that wasn't popular. People didn't like them because of this message, and that's definitely a thing that can isolate you. You know, your calling, what you're meant to do, feeling misunderstood, doing the right thing when the right thing is hard. That's definitely part of the narrow path. I can understand that. Thanks for your perspective, Charles. That's very true. Faith and family. Hi. Hello, Oriel from Liberty KY. Sorry for my ignorance, but where is Liberty KY? What is oh, Kentucky? Sorry. I should be that American that I should know that KY is Kentucky, but nice to meet you, Faith and family. Uh Rude Rumdor says, I feel like technology has made people more lonely. Oh my gosh, that's so true. That is so true. Technology really does make people lonely. When you're on this device, it's like, in a sense, it connects you to people, but in another way, it isolates you. And I feel like that is very, very accurate. Um, I feel like that's very true. And just making sure that more people see that this live is happening. That's very true, especially when like you're behind a device, you don't have eyes in front of you, you're experiencing emotions through a screen. There's something a bit sort of like separating. Yeah, and it also like it removes people's efforts to try and make friends in real life. I see that a lot of people are like relying on ChatGPT, or just like a Android friend basically, to fill in that emotional gap that they're feeling. I'm not a huge fan of AI. I know it has a lot of benefits, but I just don't want to rely on it, and I don't want to rely on it for emotional well-being. But not criticizing anyone that is, but I just don't think that it's the healthiest way. Um, let's see. Kiran says it's all in the mind. I wonder what you mean by that, Kiran. I think some things are, like in the mind in a sense, but also just loneliness is a very real thing. It's a very real thing. It can be very testing for us. Um, yeah, it brings a lot of sort of like specific emotions to the forefront of life. Let's see, go west. You can have a family or people around you and still feel lonely. That is very, very true. Yeah, a lot of people think that, the fact that they'll have friends or be married or have children, that takes loneliness away. And probably to an extent it does, because you are around people. But there are different reasons for which a person will feel lonely. And they can have all the people in the world and they'll still feel alone. You see it a lot with like celebrities or famous people, that even though they are, popular in a sense that they always have people around them, there are circumstances that can make them feel so lonely that people end up, having addictions, committing suicide, just feeling very, very, very unhappy and developing addictions because they just feel like, that they don't have anyone in the world. And so it's true. Having people or having a family or having friends is not a guarantee that you will not be lonely, but I do think that it helps, because being next to physical people, when you do not have those things, it does make a difference. So I guess there's some kind of balance here. Davy asks, "Are you Christian or Jewish, Oriel?" So I am a Messianic Jew, which basically means that I am a Jew that believes in Yeshua or Jesus as my Messiah. Uh, that doesn't make me not a Jew. I serve a Jewish Messiah, and I'm wanting to do a vlog and a video about it soon at some point. What is Messianic Judaism? who we are, what we're about. So I'll do that at some point. Let's see. John Boyd says, I worked agriculture outside in nature, tending livestock, alone, never lonely. That's really good. Yeah, that's really good. I think that for me, like the weird thing is like I'll go out to nature to be with God, but sometimes it makes me feel even more lonely. Nature is awesome and wonderful. I think livestock is like good because you're actually having like a interaction with something living. When I go out alone to the desert, it's like literally just me and God, and I don't always feel God in a way that makes me feel less lonely. But yeah, being outside and with animals, animals can be very, very healing. I know that I'm much less lonely. Actually, is Buddy in the room? Chino? I think I let him out. I hope Buddy comes at the end of this live. But yeah, having like a pet, an animal that actually really helps a lot. Do you guys want to hear a supernatural story that I think is just super cool? So, I don't know if you guys know this about me, but when I was between the ages of 15, 16, I had extreme phobias that basically were life debilitating. I couldn't be outside in society. I was very suicidal. And the only way for me to protect myself was to be in my room. And so I locked myself in my room for like half a year gradually and then a year solid. And it was a really bad situation. My parents tried to help, but like any movement that they would try and do would be risky for me to like commit suicide. It's a long story. But I used to sleep during the day and be awake during the night. And at some point, so like my room looked out until the to the garden, and then you see the like the view of the desert behind. Okay. At some point, when I would watch the sunrise, it was a very, very lonely thing because like the sunrise is very beautiful. Everyone outside is able to live their lives, and I'm not able to. And at some point, a hyrax came. Many of you guys might not know what a hyrax is because it might not be a typical animal for your environment. But I will show you guys what a hyrax is. We call this a rock bunny. um, it sort of looks like this. This is a hyrax. They're sort of big and plump and fat, and they make funny noises. And so a hyrax came every time that I would watch the sunrise, and he would look at me before the sun would rise. He would literally just sit on the ledge and look at me. Just look at me. And then when the sun would begin to rise, he would look at the sunrise and we would both watch the sunrise. And after it would rise, he would leave. And he would do that every single time I would look out to watch the sunrise. And then when I left my room, he wouldn't come by anymore. And I really, really, really believe that that was God sort of like sending me someone or like an animal basically to look at me physically to be like, I see you. You're not invisible. Someone sees you because the only person that I allowed to see me in my room was my older brother. And I was extremely lonely. I can't even tell you guys the distress like in my life. Horrible. And it was like that little type of little like a comfort to me that I'm being seen. Something is acknowledging my existence. I'm not alone. And then we would watch the sunrise together, and then he would leave. And that for me was extremely, extremely comforting. Um, it was just that little getting emotional because I feel like God was just so faithful to me to do that for me. You know what I mean? Um, I don't know. I think it's just incredible that he did that. Um, yeah, God is amazing, guys. He's so kind. He was so kind. So all that to say, animals really do help us. You know, I know that when God sent Bunny into my life, I know you guys know who Bunny is, right? He almost has 1,000 followers on Instagram. By the way, if you guys are not following Bunny on Instagram, you must follow Bunny. His name on Instagram is Cappuccino because he's my little cappuccino cupper bunny. And he's just 22 followers short from 1000. So I just I'm gonna pin it for you guys if you want. Um, hopefully Bunny will come by, but like Bunny is like such a source of comfort for me because he loves me and he's like obsessed with me and he always wants to be with me and he's cuddly and I'm his human and he's my buddy and he's just my best little friend and it's just so freaking comforting to me. He's so cute that I have Bunny in my life. And so yeah, like animals are like a source of comfort to a lot of people. That was a very long answer to one person's comment. But to all 82 of you guys here, I love you guys. We're talking about the subject of loneliness and how we can deal with it in different ways. So I'm reading your guys' comments. I'll get to all of them if I can, but I sort of stopped on that animal one for a while. Let's see. Kiran says, wow, you got a marriage proposal in one of these chats. I didn't see the marriage proposal. That is so kind of that person. I don't know who you are, but I'm looking for a man with a pure heart that wants to live in Israel and can deal with a person like me. I don't know that everyone can, but good job for trying. Very sweet. Let's see. Mark Penrose. Hi, Mark. As an extrovert, like you seem to be, loneliness must hit different because you're around people a lot. I'm an introvert, so loneliness is kind of my fault for not getting out to be with people more. You know what, Mark? I actually used to be like a complete introvert. I yeah, I was not an extrovert at all. Now I'm how do you call it? Um I don't know how you say this thing, ambivalent. I don't know how you say it, but I'm definitely half and half. I need people, but I also very much need to recharge alone. Like I need alone time as well. So I'm sort of half half in a sense, but I'm much more extrovert than what my life sort of shows. And so I make a huge effort to see people because I feel like I need, like I'm at a deficit, like I'm at a loneliness deficit, and I need it to like come back to some kind of normal. And right now it's like it's not in a good place. But yes, making an effort to sort of surround yourself with people, be confident that people want you around, not let your insecurities get in the way. That's an issue for me. To not assume that people don't want to be around you, and also to assume that not everyone is as busy as you think. That I'll just be like, "Hey, do you want to meet up?" And they'll be like, "I'm busy now, but I can do this," and they want to. And so I think people they also love getting invitations, right? Like we shouldn't be insecure as you know as we try to sort of put ourselves out there. I know it's not always easy. It's not been easy for me, but I think it's good to try and make the efforts when you can. Um, a- Anma, Anma or Amna? Oh, I need to check your name because you said your name above, and now I'm sort of. Let me see your name again. Sorry, guys. I just want to make sure that I'm actually knowing your names because, as much as I would like to, my memory is not the best with names. Where are you? I'm just trying to figure out if your name is Amna or Anma. You guys can let me know in the comments. Oh, I'm gonna read your comment either way. Sorry, I got stuck on that for a while. You're saying, heaven is where we'll never be lonely. In this world, we have trouble, but Jesus has overcome the world. I share your feelings, by the way, trusting in God. Yeah, you know what? I am thinking about the hope of heaven quite a lot, the hope of eternity, and how there won't be sorrow or grief or tears. And that's a huge comfort for me, knowing that that will be us one day. I believe that those who receive forgiveness through Yeshua will have eternal life with him. And so I would also like to think that there's healing here and that we won't always be lonely here. But yes, that is something very much to look forward to for sure. Go West says, so happy the hostages are back home and out of that terrible, horrendous, evil place they were in. Yes, I agree. Guys, talking about loneliness, some of the hostages were completely alone for the whole time. So, like Avinatan or Avinatan Ol, he was alone for the whole duration. He wasn't kept with other hostages. Um, I don't know if Braslavsky was also alone. I won't search it now, but like it must be such a different experience if you're just always alone with no other hostages. Because the other hostages, they had, people to sort of go through that with and sort of encourage each other, even if they did go through horrendous things. But yeah, some of them went through it completely alone. Let's see. Robert Peretz, don't feel lonely, Oriel. Pray to God when you feel lonely. Thank you. Thank you for that. I try to pray. Sometimes I forget. Um, but yeah, I'm really trying to sort of also just sort of ask God, like, God, please help me with this because I don't want to feel this loneliness and this intensity. It shouldn't be this way in life, especially when I know that I'm loved by people. That's a very like I'm very grateful for this in my life. I don't think that that should be an obvious like it's not something I take for granted is what I'm saying. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make sure that I hang out with people, that I don't neglect, like, not that I neglect friendships, but like that I don't, I just want to make sure that I'm doing my due diligence to make sure that my life is good for having people. You know what I mean? Like to just make an effort. Um, And then simultaneously, I also said, like, God, you have to change this. Like, whatever chapter this is, whatever is going on, please, I'm asking you to just change it, that it won't be like this. Um, and I feel like in the last 2 to 3 weeks, I have so much more opportunities for social things. Like people are inviting me, and I'm inviting them, and like making like newish friends. And I think that things are. I'm hoping they're slowly changing, but yes. Let's see. Viral Wala, and I'm sorry, guys, like I'm way up in the comments right now. I'll try to go through them a bit quicker. But you're saying, I have seen your October 7th vlog. That's from where I connected with you. I'm so happy. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate you being here. Um, Device says loneliness is nothing, but it's in our mind, negative thoughts. That's what we think in India. Okay. That's interesting perspective. Um, I think, there's a scripture in Genesis basically that says it's not good for man to be alone. And I think it is talking about in the context probably of like of more of a romantic relationship. But I think in general, it's just not good for people to be alone. You know what I mean? There are real reasons that a person feels lonely. And I don't think that they should be pushed aside as if it's just a mentality thing or it's just in your head, like I think that we actually need people and we need that loneliness to be solved. So I look at it a bit different. But sometimes loneliness can be only in your head when you think you're not loved when you actually are. I can see in that sense why loneliness would only be in your head. Um, so that's maybe something to consider that we need to make sure that we're not just coming to conclusions that people don't love us when they actually do. Just going back to see your comments. Sorry, I sort of stop on things a bit too long. Um, Robert says, Oriel, have you watched the channel So Be It? It talks about Israel as well. Yeah, I think I'm subscribed to them. I don't always watch all of their videos, but they seem to do a lot of good work. People here from New Mexico, from Sao Paulo, San Paulo. Thank you so much for being here. Let's see. Monica says, I don't like AI. I get that. El Marie Meyer says, Hi, Oriel, my Israeli sister. Hi. How are you doing? Thinking of you and all the things going on there. My heart was overflowing with joy when the living hostages were released. So happy to hear about that. Um, and then you say, when I think about how alone those hostages were, my being alone is nothing. I can understand that. Yeah. Um, I think a comparison is only good when and I'm not saying that this is you, Elmarie. I'm not saying this is you at all. But I think sometimes when we get into a place of pity, then it's good to compare our situation to someone else. So, like, if I'm not, giving myself a pity party and I'm like, actually, I feel really lonely, and someone's like, well, like, think about the hostages, they were alone, and so we don't even know what real loneliness is, and like stuff like that. Or, think of this and that person, they're actually alone. And like, to do the comparison game is sort of it's watering down your own experience, and it's not true empathy, because empathy doesn't compare your situation to another. Now, what I do think is good is if a person feels like their situation is the end of the world and it's a bit blown out of proportion, and they just need some sort of perspective to sort of gird them in place, that things probably aren't that bad as much as they think, and things can change, and they don't have a positive attitude towards things, then I think comparing is good. That you're just like, listen, let's put things into perspective. It's not the end of the world. Like, when you look at this situation, you're not in that situation. You're in this situation, and there is something you can do about it. It's not so dire like you are feeling like it is. Then I think it's good to basically be like, hey, let's get you out of this pity party. Let's give you some perspective. But apart from that, I don't think that we should compare levels of loneliness to people. Um, if it helps you to sort of get out of the situation you are in, that's cool. Somebody's here from Saudi Arabia. I'm so happy for that. Hi, you're welcomed here. You're welcomed here. Daniel says, good evening from me in the Scottish borders. Good to see you on here. I have been a single Christian for 11 years. The Lord has carried me through that. Need a need a cuddle at times, I admit. Oh my God, I completely understand that. Um, yeah, being single for a long time is very difficult. And I'm very much a physical touch person, and so my body really struggles when I don't get physical touch. And I'm not talking about like sexual touch. I'm literally just talking about touch. Like, I need a hug. I need someone to put my head on their shoulder. Just the physical, like, just touching someone. Just touch. That's the way I connect. It's the way I express things. And what you can do, Daniel, I don't know if you do this, but like, I have a weighted blanket that haven't used it in a while. Probably should after a bit. But like, you basically take the weighted blanket and you sleep with it. Or you don't even have to sleep with it. You just lay with it, and the pressure that it puts on your body is very comforting, right? Because it feels like touch, and it helps calm and relax your body. Um, and so I gave this to a friend recently that sort of like expressed that they need that, and it's just literally sitting inside my closet, not being used for a while. So if you are a single person that's struggling without physical touch, weighted blankets are really good. They might be a bit on the expensive side, but you can probably get a weighted blanket that's not the whole length of your body, but only like half your body. So like putting it on your chest could be very helpful. So maybe that's something to consider if you need like physical touch and you're not getting that. Trey says it was at this time. Oh, they're giving a scripture. It was at this time that he went off to the mountain to pray, and he spent the whole night in prayer to God. I'm assuming you're talking about just going to spend time alone with God. That's wonderful. J.R. Tyrant, Nazareth is the Arab capital of Israel. I don't know, based on what you're saying that. Um, I would probably say for them, the Arab capital, if you will, like their big city, is Ramallah. Born Again 777, praying for you, Oriel. Thank you so much. Love you guys. Um, sorry, guys. I'm sort of looking at all of your comments, and I realize that I'm only getting to a lot of comments later. But that's how it is. Enjoy me. Um, let's see. Oh, I guess someone is saying that someone to support us without judging. That helps to not feel lonely for sure. As Go West says, as a Messianic Jew, can you find fellowship with other Messianic Jews in Israel? Yeah, of course. We're not a lot, but we're enough. Um, I try to, go to congregation, just meet up regularly with friends, have fellowship that way. Probably would like to have more of that, but I guess it's just a matter of life being life. You guys are so amazing. Um, I love the fact that you guys are talking to yourself, like amongst yourselves. People are asking, "Where's the cat?" I don't know where he is. He's outside just buttercuppering around, sniffing stuff, and then it's funny when I see him outside, he just literally goes to things and sniffs it, and then he'll do a couple things, and then he sniffs that, and then and then he'll get into trouble, and he'll like bully other cats. I don't know what's. He looks innocent, but he's not innocent. And yeah, Bunny has actually gained weight because I know that he's eating at the neighbor's house. I know he does. We have another neighbor that feeds the cats, and I'm like, Bunny, you're acting like you're so hungry, but you eat at different people's houses. Like, don't act like he's just being funny. Let's see. I love your guys' comments. You guys are wonderful. Just getting to the part about the rock bunny, but people are like, rock bunny is cute. Um, let's see. Oh yeah, you guys are talking about if you had IG, you would follow Bunny. Bunny's quite popular. LA Apologetics. "שאלוהים יברך אותך, אחותי." I love that. Speaking to me in Hebrew. Okay, I'm gonna go past the bunny comments. Mike says, "Is speed dating in Israel a thing?" Um, it's probably not as much as a thing as it would be in other places, but sometimes they'll do events. I actually was involved in organizing well, no, I went to a speed dating event, like a messianic speed dating event, and um, nothing came out of it. The guys were nice, but I feel, guys, that like I don't know how to explain this any better, but like I was talking to a friend recently, and like I was explaining how like I would go to these events and I would feel like, and this isn't anything like against these people, but I would feel like I was stronger than the men there. Like, you would talk to them and you would try to get to know them a bit. And, I felt like I was like, I had confidence and I was very, like, lively and very assertive. And I don't know if to say dominant, but like I'm a strong personality, I'm a strong character. And I felt like the men were not that. That they were just sort of like nice guys, but like not. I sort of need someone strong. And my friend was sort of like, "You need a strong man." I'm like, "Yes, I do need a strong man." um, I don't know, guys. Find me a strong man. I don't even know what that means entirely. It's just like a confident man. He doesn't have to be extremely like me. He doesn't have to be bubbly all the time or like, not that I'm that all the time, but like I don't know, someone that's like reliable and just has a strong personality and that's stronger than me. I don't know. Because I'm a pretty strong woman in many ways, and I just need someone to match that and beyond. So, um, I tried the speed dating thing. It was nice, and then I tried other like Messianic Jewish get to know each other single events, and nothing have come out of it to the point where I was like, "What's the point of going?" So, yeah, yep, that's my answer for that. Um, to do a live stream on YouTube definitely is not an introvert. It takes a lot of guts to get on here on a live stream. Yes, I'm the least likely person to be in front of a camera, and yet somehow throughout these 4 years, actually, I just had like the 4th year anniversary of YouTube, which is cool. So happy with that because of you guys are here. So yeah, you have to like I'm literally talking to myself right now in a sense, right? I'm talking for like 50 minutes straight, so you've got to be, on it. Um, you guys are so sweet. Born again 777. Is Levy single? Levy is single but not a believer yet. I don't talk about my friends' love lives because unless that's a public thing, I don't talk about that. Levy is not a believer. That's one. Like he's not a follower of Yeshua. And so anyone of you guys should know that I don't date people that are not followers of Yeshua. I date people within my own faith. That doesn't mean that there's something wrong with those people. There's nothing inherently wrong with them. It just means that I am looking for the type of love that is surrendered to God, and the type of love that is. I'll show you guys. The type of love that is based on this book. This book, which is the whole Tanakh, like the Tanakh, the New Testament. I believe it's the whole Bible. And I'm looking for a man that adheres to this, that is guided by this, that is surrendered to the word of God, and that loves me with the love of God. Generally speaking, you guys should know that Levi is like my one of my closest friends. He's definitely my best guy friend at this point in life. Didn't know how that happened, but he's very, very precious to me. Like very precious. I don't even know how if he knows how precious he is to me, and I really love him to pieces. And having him as a guy friend and having these new guy friends in my life, it's very healing for me. But especially Levi, because we're very like similar people, and because it's so platonic, it's very just healing, like to just have a guy presence in my life. And so very, very grateful for Levi. Um, yeah, just very, very grateful to have a brother in this life. He's a sweetheart, love him to pieces, but it's not romantic. Jesse says, "Hi, Jesse. I'm totally late to the party. Been doing some cleaning at home and relaxing. I have come to learn that with Jesus, I'm not alone because he will not leave us or forsake us." I love that. That is true. That's very wonderful. I wish that I had more of that mentality because technically God it really is with us. And I wonder how much less alone I would feel if I knew truthfully that God is with me. That must be a very like profound revelation to behold. Um, so yeah. Petra Jensen. Petra, I love your name. My one of my best friends' name is Petra, but I call her baby. Last Sunday in church, the pastor mentioned how we can help each other at home in prayer. That hit me hard with a harsh feeling of loneliness living alone. I'm sorry, Petra. I definitely know how that feels to feel like you're living alone. That can make you feel very lonely for sure. Some people get roommates, some people don't. Some people live with their siblings even when they're adults because that's sort of helpful for them to not feel lonely. um Not that you're asking for advice, but my advice is invite people over. Make your space a space in which people like go outside as much as you can, but also invite people to your house. Do fun things, like do a pancake brunch on a Saturday or Sunday, like do candlelit dinners, do game nights, like literally make your house a hub in which everyone is welcomed. And you will be surprised how much people will be like, actually, that's so much fun. Like, I'd love to come and do that. Let's do a movie night. Let's do, a game quit. I don't know, just like throw any idea. Like, people love to come over to do things. Pray together at your house, like do little projects, art projects. People do like wine and they buy like these little canvases and they do some little paintings as they talk to each other over wine or non-alcoholic beverages. Like literally don't think about anything like insecurity wise, just like open up your house. Your house is open for people. If you have the space to do it, try it. Paul from Switzerland. Hi, so happy that you're here. Go West. You're so sweet. You're like, you will find somebody. Thank you so much. Let's see. Tara says, asked, do you have any hobbies or is there something you'd like to learn, like dance classes? Actually, I'd like to do a dance class. I have this sort of thought in my mind of doing a dance class that's like bachata. It's like between salsa and bachata. But bachata? Maybe I'm saying it wrong. But one, it's good for physical touch, but I'm also a bit apprehensive because of the physical touch, because if it was amongst believers, maybe it'd be a lot more respectful. But like, I'm sort of thinking, are guys just sort of like putting their hands all over you to sort of dance with you? And that sort of makes me feel like I don't know if I'm extremely comfortable with it. But maybe that is a way to sort of move my body and feel better with like just having a hobby with people that want to just have fun. So that could be nice. Um, let's see. Mike says, even if the guy is a non-believer, he can adapt to this much more easy as someone which have a believing background from another religion. I think I'm sort of missing out on the conversation, so I'll leave that. Robert Perret says, Oriel, can a guy or a girl or a guy date an outsider? I'm always curious about that. When you say outsider, I don't know if you're meaning like not from the same religion, but for me, that will never work. I don't think that that's good advice to give to anyone. To It doesn't necessarily mean that they have to be the same denomination as you, but like if you don't have in common God and you are a believer in God and you have a personal relationship with Yeshua, anything outside of that is only nice. When push comes to shove, that person will love you with a human kind of love that isn't surrendered to God. And you have to ask yourself, is that worth the price? For me, it's not worth it. Let's see. Uh, Joshua Babo says, I related to a lot of what you said in your last video, including living in the countryside. I've been meaning to go to church to get out and carefully make new friends. Yeah, I'm assuming that living in the countryside, you're sort of spread out and that you're not, probably a lot around other people. But yeah, if you can make the effort to go to church, put yourself in community, get into life groups, stuff like that, I think that will go well with you. I love all these comments, guys. You guys, I love that you're speaking to each other. Yeah, Michal says, being in a relationship with someone that is not equally yoked is a disaster, speaking from experience times two. Thanks for being honest. Yeah, it's not, I wouldn't recommend it to people. I don't think that that goes well with us. Um, Go West, have you ever tried to bind loneliness up in the name of Jesus, Yeshua? Read scriptures about joy. I think there can be a spiritual element to where things are more spiritually influenced than just pure loneliness. I think for me, I just get in a really bad mental place when I'm in a room, because you guys have to understand that I locked myself in my room for like almost a year and a half when I was a teenager. And even though 2 decades have almost gone by, actually they have gone by 2 decades. It doesn't matter. Like now my psyche is hardwired to be like, I can't stay in a room for so long, like it's gonna drive me crazy. And so when I find myself physically alone because I'm working in a room behind a desk with my computer or something like that, it's just not good for my soul. And so some of it is just purely just a bad situation in life where you're lonely, and some of it can be spiritual when it gets to the point where it gets out of hand. So I think that when it becomes spiritual like that, it is important to sort of bind that. Yes. Daniel D says we were created for to walk with the Lord in fellowship and likewise with his creation. I completely agree with that. Dan says, not feeling accepted in the North America church because being a single guy was hard and lonely until I found a good church that accepted me. Wow. Yeah, it's actually hard to find a church in the States. When I lived in the States for a year, I was in a very, like, there were a lot of churches around me. There weren't so much like Messianic synagogues that I knew about. And so I just sort of found a church, you know? So I was trying to find a place that was Israel loving. And it was, yeah, it was hard to make friends in the States. It really was. And the States tends to be very, very big. And so I can understand that it's not always easy to make friends, but I think it's good that you made the effort and that you found a place. Let's see. Dum, 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 dum. Unknown. Do you know Solo Israel and have you seen them? I grew up with most of them, and I have been friends with some of them, and we all basically know each other. So yes, go West. When you feel real lonely, just get on YouTube and do a live stream. There will always be people on here that care for you. You guys are so sweet. You guys are the absolute best. You guys don't know how much I talk about you guys behind your back. I'm just like, I have the best subscribers, really. You guys are honestly the best. I'm so, so privileged and proud that you guys are my subscribers because I don't know what I would do without you guys. Truly. Um, Anastasia, hi. Sorry, I'm literally just like getting down to all of the comments, and so let me just scroll down just a little bit so that I'm actually live with your comments and not just talking a lot. Um, that's nice. I have 2 kittens that I'm raising, and they come and sleep beside me, and it's so cute. That's so cute. I love that. I have a pillow to touch when I feel this way. That's really good. Yeah. Heavy pillows, weighted blankets, it's all good. Someone literally hugs their Bible to sleep. You know what? Sometimes I do that too. This is a heavy Bible. Sometimes I'll literally sleep with it like this, but the pages get sort of ruined if I don't notice. But yeah, it helps to sort of sleep with that. So I love that you do that. I do that sometimes too. Dum, 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 just going down. And you okay, Anastasia, I don't know if you're still here. Yes, you are. She's here. I'm gonna scroll back. Anastasia is one of my best friends, and absolutely love her to pieces. And she really does give long hugs. And she'll literally will be like talking to someone, and she'll be hugging me, and it's so healing for me. We're both, she lives alone, and I live with people, but it doesn't necessarily mean that I get hugs. And I think we both just need that. We both need hugs, and so physical touch, guys. For the physical touch people out there, don't be afraid to ask your friends for hugs. Literally just like hug me and hug me for a long time. Hug me for longer than 2 seconds. You know what I mean? Like we need that. We need it. And so Anastasia is one of those friends that she's just like gives long hugs and I'm very grateful for it. Um just looking down. Yes, Anastasia, you're here. I'm still gonna scroll up to see what people are asking and saying. Uh let's see. I love that you guys recognize Anastasia. She's wonderful. Dan Esperson says, "Why do you feel that finding someone is difficult there?" Oh goodness, Dan, story of our lives. I don't know. It's just literally a deficit in numbers of men. That literally at this point, it's just there's not many physically in numbers. Also because of the war, there are less men coming over to like volunteer, serve, visit, all the things. A lot of people do find their spouses that way, and because of the war, there's been much less of that for the last 2 years, and less of it because of Corona, because of COVID, and so it's not that I'm not like flirted with or online and stuff like that, but like it's just strangers online. I don't know these people. And it's just one of those things that I don't really know what to do with. It's just it is what it is. I don't know what to say. It's not easy. And it's not for lack of trying. So it says Uriel Yeshua will give you a lifelong partner. It takes time. Yeah. AB22 says, Uriel, what age are you looking for? I don't know. You should just come. I mean, not too young, obviously, and not too old. I'm 34, something around my range. The youngest I think I'll ever do right now is like a very, very mature 28, you know? But he'd have to be so mature, you know what I'm saying? Um, and if he's older than me, he has to be young in spirit because I feel young in spirit. Michal, going back to the strong man, after you find Uriel a strong man, find one for me too. We'll try, Michal. Um, Faith and family sounds like you're looking for a grounded man in Yeshua. I get that 100%. Yes, that's what I'm looking for. Strong man back to Texas. John Boyd, probably. Maybe I'll find the strong man there. Um, about like relocating, I would relocate only if God literally just like told me to. You know what I mean? Like, this is my home. This will forever be my home. This will be the main place in which I live. This is where my calling is and where my people are. And the person that person will have to be willing to move here. Someone unknown says, I'm 6'4", 32, but live in Austin. Very sweet. Okay, to all the men out there that, and I'm not saying that this is you, unknown. I'm not saying that you're flirting with me. This is something to know about women if you're flirting online, okay? Let's just say this person, unknown, their name is unknown, and they don't have a profile picture. A lot of men will flirt with you and send you messages and even proposals um, and ask you out on dates online on Instagram, and they don't have a profile picture, or they have just a profile picture of not even their face. You can't see them, or like them with a camera lens like this, and all you see on their profile is like pictures that they took, but they're not in any of them, and so you can't see them. People people like that should not be expected to get an answer. And the reason for that is that you're literally a stranger online in which I can't see. Why would I answer that? That's very unsafe for me. And so, guys, if you actually want to like flirt online, put a profile picture, put your face out there, put yourself on your post. Like, don't be cryptic. Like, I don't know who you are. I can't see a face. I'm not going to talk with a person that I can't see. So, guys, if you're doing that online, don't. Get a profile picture. Show yourself. Help me feel safe if I actually want to talk back to you, because you could be a really cool person, but I will never know that because I'm not going to take the risk on someone whose name is unknown, literally unknown, and I can't see their face. You know, word to the wise. Um, Shalom 777. Waiting on God to set up an arranged marriage. Someone who is as dependent on God as I am. That's a really good idea. Lucas says, Hi, Lucas. I feel like you're new here, or at least I haven't seen you yet. So thanks for commenting. Don't feel bad for being alone. I know you are a very special human. That's very sweet of you. Thank you. It is not easy. It's not an easy match. Oh, I'm not an easy match. I'm probably not. It's probably true. Um, let's see. Daniel says we must look for potential partners who fear the Lord and love him more than us. That's the litmus test. I agree with that. That's wonderful. Let's see. Oh, Enoch, it's too hot outside to be sniffling, dear. Yeah, I'm not sniffling because it's hot or cold. I'm sniffling because I think that Bunny brings in allergies. I don't know where he's sitting recently, but he's bringing in things that I'm like, I'm here and I feel like allergic to. So that's why I'm sort of sniffling. Sometimes I'll have to change my sheets completely because um because of whatever I'm sitting in. I don't know what he's bringing in. It's not like that all the time though. Let's see. Um just catching up on the comments. Jesse says, "Oh yeah, you definitely know what you want and are looking for in a man. That takes courage. Speaking from experience, don't always fall for the first person that gives you attention." That's very wise. That's very true. People say don't be picky, but I'm like, you need to have standards and you need to know what you want because that's important. You guys are all very sweet. Um, reliable. Oh, someone says, is being Christian enough for you, or does the person have to be a Messianic Jew? Um, no, the person does not have to be Jewish, but they do have to be a follower of Yeshua. I think some people, it matters to them if their future spouse or whoever it is a Jew or not. For me, it doesn't matter. I grew up with a non-Jewish Abba, and I grew up in a Messianic household, and we did all the holidays and Shabbat, and like he lived like us, even though he was not like us, So he was fully a Christian, but he considered himself to be like us, So um, yeah, it's just the family that they created together. So he doesn't have to be a Jew for me. He just has to be, do that type of lifestyle. Enoch asks, what does your typical Shabbat look like? So it depends. Um, some type of spiritual gathering, whether it's congregation or something else. Sometimes it's going outside in nature. Sometimes it's catching up on sleep. It just depends what rest actually looks like. Let's see. I think this person is called Andrew. Why don't you convert and be a full Jew? First of all, I am a Jew. You're halfway there. Then you'll be able to find all the strong boys and date and get married. I am a Jew. That's important, first of all. And I don't feel the need to do anything to find. I don't entirely know what you mean because of that. So I'm just going to leave that where it is. Someone says here, yeah, not worth settling for someone if you don't have the same beliefs because marriage will be difficult, extremely difficult. I agree. Hi, Uriel, Sharon from Kenya. Hi, Sharon. Thank you for your candor. You make living out Christianity so real and the word comes alive and how you live your life as a single lady. I appreciate your content. Thank you so much. Yeah, being a single Messianic Jew in Israel is not easy, but we're doing it. We're doing it. Mark says marrying someone from a different denomination is problematic. My mom is from a Catholic family, my dad isn't. It was a huge issue, and things were said that I'll never forget. I'm sorry for that, Mark. That's not pleasant. Yeah, there have to be, like agreements on those things if you come from different denominations of whether or not you're able to respect the different differences in them. If not, it can become difficult. Let's see. It's funny. I'm only now like looking at all the dance comments because I was talking about dance, but I'm getting to the bottom of the comments. So good for me. Um, I don't know. Maybe I should take up dancing, but it's very expensive, guys. It's not for free. So I'm thinking like, can I actually make it with those hobbies? You have to sort of commit, to a specific day or a specific evening. And when I don't have a car, it's hard to get to these places. It's like it takes a lot of your day, and sometimes I'm working, and so I don't know. It's a hobby that's like not super easy to have. I see some of you guys are coming to Israel. That's super cool. Unknown asks, have you seen The Passion of the Christ, and what do you think of the movie? I've seen it many times, and I think it's a spectacular movie. Um, yeah, to see his pain and his love through what he did is quite amazing. It is quite gruesome in some of the things. For me, it's okay, but it just gives you a real sense of like, wow, he really did that for me. So yeah, let's see. Mark says your Bible is in rough shape. You should get it rebound. It's expensive, but they can give you a nice leather cover. So this Bible is actually my Abba's Bible. He had a few Bibles. It is in rough shape. He would use it a lot, but it's his Bible, and that's what I love about it. It has all of his notes and his handwriting, and it has like the things that he highlighted and little, just things that he would print out. And it was actually falling apart. Like this part was like completely like it fell off, and so I took like like really strong adhesive glue and just put that back together. And I like the fact that it's sort of rough around the edges because it's like it's been used, like read a lot. And so it's a Hebrew English Bible. Someone asked me recently like what translation it is. That's a really good question. I should actually look at what translation it is because I have no idea. um Hebrew English Bible. I tried to find what type of translation this is, and I'm not entirely sure. Oh, it's the New King James Version. Okay, New King James. I've heard that King James or is like the sort of the closer version to like the original. So yeah, I love this Bible. I'm so grateful that I can have it. It's very much like with the lack of a father, I feel like this is the closest thing that I can get to him. So yeah. Um, let's see. I love that people are responding to Anastasia. Oh, Petra says, "Hey Anastasia, I love the live with Oriane and you." Yeah, we did a live like a few months ago, and it was actually pretty nice. Yeah, Troy G as a froom gay. Froom gay or froom guy? What is a froom? Sorry if I'm offending. Froom Jews. First to be gay and froom. Wait, what is froom? Ah, so you're like Orthodox? Froom? Froom is a word that describes Jewish religious devotion. And gay. Okay. So you're Orthodox and gay, right? Am I understanding correct? Yeah, I would assume that that's very hard to find someone like within your faith. Um yeah, I would assume that that's very hard. Let's see. Edward Michael Basso says, "I want a wife." I can understand. We'll be hoping for a wife for you. Oops, I'm sort of skipping on comments. I don't know where I'm at. Um. Oh, unknown. No, agree. Totally makes sense. I just want to be anonymous online. I was just joking around. No, it's fine. I get you. I didn't think that you were flirting with me. It's fine. And some people do want to be anonymous online, and that's absolutely okay. I'm just saying in general, for guys that actually want to flirt online, like you gotta help a woman out. Like you gotta like help us want to respond, you know. Um Sean says you are allergic to cats or dander. I'm actually not allergic to all cats. I'm allergic to some cats. I'm not allergic to Bunny, but sometimes Bunny, I don't know where he's at. Sometimes he'll lay in stuff outside, like in nature, and then he'll come back and whatever it is that he's sitting in, and then he sleeps with me in my bed. I'll, yes, it's okay. Let's see. Wait, Bunny? Chino? Bunny! You guys want to see Bunny? Cappuccino? I think he's in the hallway. Wait, let's get Bunny. Bunny! Cappuccino! Bunny, let's join the live. Come here, Cuppy. Cuppy, come see your friends. Come here. It's just staring at me. Come here, Chino. Come here. Come see your friends. Everyone wants to see you. Come here. I don't know why he's doing this. He's just looking at me and meowing. He'll drink and then he'll come. Bunny has joined the chat. Ugh. Let's see. Hi, Carolyn. Hello, sweet girl. Why aren't you sleeping? It's still early. I started this live early. Also, this is me and Bunny. I started the live early, which is good. So I'm not sleeping yet. I'm just reading some of the comments. Let's see. Charles Lutman, Olia, you are an inward Jew, spiritual because of Jesus. So I can see some of the comments here are sort of, like thinking about what a Jew is, how you find someone, all these things. So I'll explain about me what I am, okay? So my father is not a Jew, so he was a Christian, okay? My mother is a Messianic Jew. She's still alive. My father is already passed. I am a Jew. As far as finding someone, it doesn't matter to me if they are a Jew or not. As long as they believe in Yeshua, that is cool with me. I don't need to convert to anything because I am a Jew. So I don't know what was happening there in the chat. But I don't necessarily find it necessary for me to marry a Jew. Bunny, as long as my children grow up in a Messianic Jewish household, that's what matters to me. Come here. Yes, he's my bunny. Hi, Chino. Everyone say hi to Bunny. Oh, Cupper, sit with me. You want to sit with me? Oh, yes, it's my bunny. Sit. Sit, Cuppy. Sit, Chino. Sit, Bunny. Sit, Cuppy. Want to sit with me? Cupper, sit with me. Cupper, sit. I'm trying to get him to sit on my lap so you guys can see him. Sit, Chino. Sit. Oh, he's my bunny. Okay. He sort of, ow, ow. He sort of decided to sit like this. So his face is not towards you guys, but ow, bunny, don't do that. Thank you. Okay, cup of chili. Ow, ow, ow. When he gets comfortable, they do this. And so he's putting like his paws like inside my skin. But okay, I'll do this so you guys can see Bunny just a little bit. Cupper loves me. Cupper kiss. Okay. Ouch. Okay. Let's see. Carolyn says, my husband is Catholic and I'm Southern Baptist. We get along fine. That's good. Ouch. Many warm greetings from Germany. You'll definitely find your prince and he'll meet you. Thank you so much, Sebes N. That is so nice. Matt, hi all, and Oriel. I'm late to the chat. Didn't know you were doing a live chat. You know what, Matt? Neither did I. I didn't know that I was doing a chat. I'm suddenly like, let's get on there and bunny and just talk to each other. So very happy to talk to you guys. And that's so nice. Also, for you guys that know, like we've had neighbor drama. And so there are neighbors right next to me that they're arguing like crazy. Like just really they argue all the time. They just fight and fight and fight. So that's happening. So if you hear that in the background, it's because of that. Anastasia, there's a saying, if your Bible falls apart, your life doesn't. That's cool. I like that. Kindly Miguel, would you date a divorced Messianic Jew Christian who has a young son or daughter? I mean, I think you should never say never, right? I would prefer to not enter into a family that already is a family. I would prefer to already create my own. And also, like, I would like to know the reason of why they're divorced. They're arguing. I'd like to know why they're divorced. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying that everyone that is divorced has some, you know, Cain, like how do you say we say like ot Cain, like the mark of Cain on them, like you should stay away from them. There's reasons that people get divorced that sometimes it's just really not under their control, and they would have fought, really strongly to not get divorced, and it's not up to them entirely because the other person is just, they do what they do, right, Bunny? Ow, Chino. So that's on that end. I would prefer not to get into a family that already has a child. Let's see. Just looking at some of the comments, the more recent ones. Would you date an Aramaic Christian, strong and handsome? Guys, I don't know. At this point, I don't have a lot of options. So I would date someone that sort of is compatible to me. Oh, Bunny. Look at him. He's so cute. Chino. I don't know what to say. What type of music do you like? I am sort of sporadic with the music that I listen to. I have this playlist, like an Israeli playlist of songs that are like worship, but they're not Yeshua worship, but they're worship nonetheless. And maybe actually I don't know if I can do this. Can I share this little playlist with you guys? Do you guys like music? I don't know if you guys like music, and I don't even know how to share this really. Let's see. Maybe I could share this Spotify playlist with you guys. Let's see if I can do that. I just sent it to myself on Instagram. So on WhatsApp, and then I'm going to take this link and share it. Let's see if this even works. So maybe we can listen to some of the same music. There we go. I don't know. Enjoy it if you want. It's just a few songs that I liked recently, so I just put them on a playlist. Everyone is saying hi to Bunny. The neighbor is crying now. Sad. Just looking at your comments, trying to figure out what's going on. Sean asks, "Are you a Zionist?" Yes, but I feel like people don't know what a Zionist is. Um, what do Zionists believe? Zionists believe that we have the right to live in our ancestral homeland. That's what we believe, that we have the right to exist and exist in our ancestral homeland. It doesn't necessarily mean that I want everyone else that is not a Jew to leave this country. That's not what I believe, and that's not what most Zionists believe either. But yes, I am a Zionist. Bunny is shy. Bunny is just cupper bunnying around. I don't have any more SNACKs. KSs. Every time I open the door, he's like, "Am I getting some, that?" And I'm like, "I'm sorry, need to go and buy some more." But we don't have any to like give to him right now, so we won't be able to do that. Cuppy, little cappuccino. Guys, I'm going to go in a bit because I feel like you guys hear too much of me. And yeah, someone can hear Bunny. Bunny's just he's how do you say? Purring? Cappuccino? Cupper bunny? What? What? Oh, he's a good boy. He loves me. He's a very cute one. Don't stay up too late. Being with people who care about you is important, but so is sleep. You know what? You're right. I've actually managed to go to sleep like relatively early in the last few days, so I'm very happy about that. Makes me feel so much better to wake up in the morning. Just reading your comments. Are you guys able to see the Spotify playlist that I put up or no? Oh, that's weird. I feel like it didn't actually appear anywhere. That is weird. That was an error. Will it let me? Let me try again. There it is. Okay. I'm going to pin the Spotify playlist. So if you guys can, I think every time I add to it, then you guys can actually see. So maybe I'll add and you guys can have fun with this playlist. And then we'll all be listening to the same songs. And that's so much fun for us. Lucas says, when you find the guy your heart will tell you. I hope that happens. Sean says, will you marry someone who refuses any cats? Bunny, what do you think? Bunny, should I marry someone that doesn't accept you? He's not even going to entertain that question. He's not even going to pay it any attention. He's like, what do you think? Actually, I met up with a friend yesterday whose husband was not really keen on cats, and now he like loves the two cats, like loves them. So I'm like, anything can change. And Bunny, like even people that don't like cats, Bunny wins them over. So like Cappuccino here has, some skills. Dum, dum, dum. Oh, I have to make it a public playlist. How do I do that? How do I make this playlist public? That's a good question. Hey Siri, how do I make this a playlist? Let me say that again. I have to do the whole thing over. Hey Siri, how do I make my Spotify playlist public? Okay, so the more button. Share? No, not share. Make playlist private. I guess it's already public then, no? I feel like it's already public. Can you guys it is already public. Okay, good. That's wonderful. I'm happy. So now we can listen to the same songs. Yay. And I'll add to the songs so you guys actually this is fun. Yeah, this is actually really fun. I've never done this with people. So yeah, I'll add to the playlist. So this playlist is basically like not songs that are worshiping Yeshua, but they're Hebrew songs that have like spiritual meaning towards God or a type of worship towards God, and I love it. I feel God's presence through them a lot. But it's also like a very new playlist. I just sort of like just added stuff. Good night to whoever's leaving. Good night, Carolyn. Monica's like, if Bunny doesn't like them, it's a no. I agree. They're gonna have to love Bunny. He's like part of me by now. You know what I mean? Oh my goodness. I just got wonderful pictures of my friend in a little ceremony getting married, like a official thing, and then Thursday is the wedding, so I'm so excited. Yay. Monica says, "Oh yeah, why don't you have the hype for your channel?" Not entirely sure what we're talking about, but I'd love for you to clarify. What is Bunny's favorite food? He loves tuna. He absolutely loves tuna. Oh, I'm tired, guys. I think it's probably time for me to go to sleep. I feel like that's probably important. Um, but I want to just tell you guys that I love you and that you guys are very precious to me. And I'm so happy that you guys just appeared, even though I gave a 30-minute notice for the live. It's always very nice for me. Someone is asking, is your birthday March 27th? Yes, it is. It is March 27th. I'll be 35, which is insane. Absolutely insane. Can't believe I'll be 35. But yes, guys, I love you so much. I'm very grateful for you. And I'm just going to pray. Some of you guys might not be of the same faith as me, and that's okay. You can receive this prayer or not receive this prayer. You can receive it as well wishes. But I'm going to pray. God, thank you for all of my subscriber friends. Thank you for the friends around me. Thank you for my family. And thank you for each one of the people that have come and gone on this live. And for everyone that just watches the channel, I ask God that you would help them if they're feeling lonely, that you would give them clarity of mind, that you would give them confidence to move out of their comfort zone so that if something can be done about their loneliness, that you would help them with that and fulfill them, God. Fulfill them both with yourself and your presence, with family and family to the family list, people that do not have family in the natural, put them in families, put them with people that are friends that are like families, invite them to family dinners and events and all the things, and give them peace, give them love, surround them with love, God. Surround them with really faithful, loving, kind, wholesome people that will lead them towards good things and not bad things. And if there's loneliness that is unnatural, help them with that as well. And just help us, God. Help us when we feel lonely. We surrender it to you. We thank you that you can do all things and change all things, and help us to walk accordingly so that we can live full lives. Help us also to be confident that we are also the answer to someone else's loneliness, that our presence can actually help other people feel less lonely, that we actually hold, social space in this world and that people need us as well. So help us to be an aid to the lonely so that they feel less of that. Shem Yeshua. Amen. Okay, guys, staying for 2 more seconds to just see all of your amens and all of your good nights and all of your I love yous. I'm very grateful for you guys and looking forward to seeing you guys more. Oh, guys, if you haven't watched the new video with Levy and I always try to show you guys the things that I'm doing, even if it's not on my channel. But Levy and I went recently-ish, a month ago. Oops, where are you guys? We went to Nachal Prat. So I'm going to link these 2 things now so that you guys can watch them. We went to Nachal Prat. Super cool place. I probably talked to you guys about the fact that I couldn't jump into the water. So that was a thing. And then this next one is called Sebastia. We went to Sebastia, which is also a really cool place that so much has happened. And it's this link that I just put. And wow, so much fun. We're going to go next week to two more locations. So 2 more videos that will come out on All Israel News at some point in the next month. And that's my update on that. So if you guys want to look at those 2 links, one is Nachal Prat, like the Prat River, and then the other one is Sebastia. And what other updates do I have? I think the next vlog, I'll try to have it be the hostages return. And if not, the Samaritan vlog, which I went with Tal. If you guys know Tal, his name on YouTube is The Traveling Clat, and with our dear friend Levy, Sweet Levy, to Har Gerizim, where the Samaritans live, and we did Sukkot with them, which is so cool. The coolest thing ever. And I know that Sukkot is past, but I'm still going to put this content out. I just didn't have the strength to put out a lot of content as of recent. But you guys are welcome to all the stuff. Okay, guys, I love you so much, and I'll see you guys soon. And have a wonderful day, night, afternoon, wherever you are. I love you guys. Bye. Bye, Bunny. He's sleeping in the window. Okay, love you guys. Bye.